Hello, RotoGrinders. I'm here to break down a lineup for Week 4. What a difference a week makes, man. A lot less scoring throughout the NFL. So not as many fireworks going on. So a little bit easier probably to analyze the stats this week because they mean more. So let's dive into my DK cash lineup here. So at quarterback, we went with Andy Dalton. I thought about a number of quarterbacks here, but decided on Andy Dalton. Kansas City's defense has shown that they've had a funnel defense where they've given up a lot of pass, not so much. They've been pretty stout versus the run. So like them to score a lot of points, as did Vegas. And they didn't disappoint with points. They put up 36, but unfortunately they had 4 rushing touchdowns, only 1 passing. But Dalton did return value with his 321 passing yards and also returned value on his DK price at 21 points here. So did look at throwing in David Carr, Tyrod Taylor, Aaron Rodgers. Decided on Dalton. Didn't want too much double exposure. As much as pairing up a quarterback and running back raises your floor, it also limits your ceiling. So I want as much... I want to go as high as possible when it's for total points, especially when it's heads-up games. I want to win as many heads-up games. It's probably a decent strategy in a 50-50 to pair quarterback running back, but not so much in heads-up versions. So, all right, moving on to running back. Devontae Freeman, Carlos Williams, two really value running backs that were just going to be utilized a lot. Locked them in all my cash games on DraftKings. So based upon the usage per dollar, there was no question they were my highest projected running backs for the day. So only question here was Devontae Freeman coming off a 35 touch day. How much would he be utilized going forward? When you look at the Dallas Cowboy box score, you could see that he was the only running back to touch the ball. So felt pretty good moving forward. And there was only one other running back that was even active. So felt good that he would still touch the ball. But Teron Ward actually out-touched him, 20-19. But can't complain. Devontae Freeman, DFS MVP so far this year, got his third touchdown game. Man, what a beast. So, and then Carlos Williams at $3,400, he got 21 touches. You're not gonna see that touch per dollar, too often from week to week. So love that. 70 total yards. Not as explosive as he has been in previous weeks. But he got a receiving touchdown, which shows you how dynamic of a receiver he is if they're utilizing him in the red zone. So, all right, now moving on to wide receivers, the down part of my lineup. Went value at quarterback in my running back spots to go up and grab these stud wide receivers, and what did they do for me? Not much to see here. All underperforming days for them. I'm going to blame a lot of game flow on the Cobb Julio Jones. Even though the Packer game wasn't a blowout, it just seemed like the Packers knew that San Fran couldn't score on them, so they weren't they weren't running a lot of their same offense, I don't feel like. So, and then Julio Jones, Atlanta was up early. They ended the first half up 28-0, so they didn't need Julio either. So maybe it's kind of like them protecting their stud here in a game they don't need to score anymore in the second half. So not a lot to take away from, but let's move forward. Tight end, Charles Clay, what a beast of a day. He had 13 targets, 9 catches, 111 yards, and didn't get a touchdown. He actually had a 37-yard touchdown brought back, so it could have been even crazier of a week. But in a Gronkless week, definitely in play. Loved him and Martellus Bennett. The reason why I went Clay in most of my DK spots here was there was no Sammy Watkins, so no wide receiver 1 in Buffalo. No LaShawn McCoy, so no dump-offs to LaShawn McCoy. So I just thought there was going to be an uptick in usage for Charles Clay. Giants have been susceptible versus the tight end. Loved everything about it. And it ended up working out well. So, and then going on to the flex here, Latavius Murray. I didn't know exactly what to do here at flex. But the reason why I went Latavius, he's been the 3rd most used running back this year in the NFL based upon amount of plays. And he was going up against Chicago's defense. So that's about all I need to say there. And then defense, this was just a week that I wasn't willing to pay up for a defense. So kind of like just looked at how much money I had left over. It was 2,900. Projected Cincinnati's defense to produce the most. Insert Cincinnati. Unfortunately, the only defense that was 2,900 was the Atlanta Falcons, and they had the nut week. So if I would have just used every last penny, it would have been a lot happier. I would have been a lot happier if that was the case. So, but yeah, so that was my week, 145.64 DK points. I'm pretty happy on a very low scoring week with that performance. This lineup was in the 15th to 20th percentile, so definitely returned one every 50-50 and won about 75 to 80% of my heads up games. So can't complain with that performance. So hopefully you guys did as well. And moving on to week 5. Good luck, grinders.